Okay, as if things couldn't get any worse for Niantic this year, a civil lawsuit was recently filed against this company. Allegedly, it turns out that they have been doing some very bad practices within their company, and I do think this is something worth talking about because it will affect Pokemon GO's future. I'm going to be talking about all of this in today's video, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. Hey, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon GO video. Okay, so Niantic has got some really bad news. Recently, reports came out that Niantic is currently being sued by an Asian female ex-employee, and it was one of the employees that was recently laid off. Basically, it turns out that Niantic created a culture of a boys club, and they had some major pay disparities for people of color and people who are women. Now, it's very important that I mention that everything that I'm going to be talking about in this video is alleged. Nothing was proven true in the court of law just yet, so we do have to wait until a lot of this stuff comes out. But a lot of these accusations are extremely alarming, and it is something that we as a Pokemon GO community need to be aware of as we're playing this game. Here is an article from The Verge that talks about this lawsuit. A former Niantic employee filed a lawsuit against the AR Gaming Company on Friday, alleging that it devalued the work of female employees and women of color, denied equal pay to women employees and women of color. The lawsuit, which is seeking class action status, accuses Niantic of creating a boys club. The employee was laid off as part of last week's job cuts at the company, which affected about 230 staffers. The employee, who is an anonymous Jane Doe but is described in the complaint as an Asian female, started working at Niantic in February 2020 with a salary of $70,000. The complaint says, later that year, she was promoted and received a raise to about $84,000, but in approximately 2021, she learned that Niantic was paying a male colleague more money even though she had a higher job title and more responsibilities than he did. In 2022, he was allegedly paid $127,000 per year, but she was paid $105,000 per year despite being one job level higher. In or around spring 2023, she received a raise to $115,000 per year, still below her male colleague. Around that same time, the employee also saw that Niantic posted the pay range for her job title and level. As of 2023, California employers with more than 15 staffers have to share pay ranges in job listings because of a pay transparency law, and saw that she was being paid more than $10,000 less than the bottom end of that range. The employee discussed her concerns with other female staffers, and sexism and equal pay were brought up in the company's employee resources group for women, Wolfpack. But when the employee brought her concerns to Niantic's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director and Principal People Partner, they made clear that they and male upper management at Niantic were hostile to her complaints or voiced concerns about sexism or sexual bias in the workplace, the complaint says. The executives in the meeting also allegedly said her job evaluations were affected by her discussing workplace issues with her colleagues and said that she was paid below the range because she had raised concerns with her colleagues. According to the complaint, the employee then immediately unsubscribed from the Wolfpack group in fear that her association with Wolfpack would disadvantage Wolfpack employees or her. This year, Wolfpack found in a survey of staffers that many female employees viewed Niantic as a sexist work culture that disadvantages female employees, and a majority of respondents expressed concerns about equal pay at Niantic, the complaint says. When those survey findings were shared with upper management, Niantic's chief marketing officer, Mike Quigley, required Wolfpack to remove references to Boys Club and similar comments about sexism in the workplace from their presentation to Wolfpack members about the result of the survey. The group was also told that they could not survey staffers without approval from upper management. Niantic didn't immediately reply to requests for comment. I think this is extremely alarming because, yeah, this is an ongoing issue within the gaming industry. We saw similar accusations come out with Riot Games and Blizzard Entertainment last year and the year before, and I do think this is something that we do need to address when it comes to Niantic, because Niantic is a game studio that really should be setting the standard. They are technically a AAA studio as a result of the success of Pokemon GO, and I really do think that stuff like this is going to prevent them from getting the best talent to come and work on the game. Now, I totally understand that for the common Pokemon Go player, they're not necessarily going to care about all of this behind the scenes drama, but I actually do think it can affect Pokemon Go as a game. If there is a very negative culture at Niantic, it's going to affect the quality of the work itself. Like for all of the employees at Niantic, if they are not on board with some of these practices, then it's definitely going to affect their morale. It's going to cause them to generate some unpolished content, and in general, it's just a very toxic place to be. So naturally, a lot of employees might feel deflated. My biggest hope out of this lawsuit is that Niantic settles it really quickly, and there are some positive changes within the company itself. Mainly because I really do feel like if Niantic wants to make the best product possible, they need to make sure their employees are happy. There was something else in this lawsuit that I actually found to be really disturbing, and it really is a good indicator of why there was such a decline in quality within Pokemon Go for the last couple of years. This person who was suing Niantic stated that she received less pay as a result of speaking out against some unfavorable things going on in the company. She had meetings with management in order to address some of these concerns, and as a result of that, she received less pay. So I really cannot imagine working in a toxic environment like that. When it comes to Pokemon Go's development, it really seems like Niantic is the type of company where the people at the highest of positions are going to have the final say on anything. I really wish there was a more collaborative effort, so when employees raise different concerns, whether it be within Pokemon Go or within the company itself, that those feelings are actually heard and they're taken into consideration. But after reading through this lawsuit, it seems like Niantic is the type of company that will punish people for voicing their concerns rather than actually listening to them. There are really good people who work at Niantic, and there are people who are on the player's side. There are people who actually play Pokemon Go religiously like most of us do, and those are the people who could try to make a difference within Niantic, but it's really going to be up to us to constantly have that line of communication with those specific employees. The more people voice our concerns regarding Pokemon Go, the more it's going to be known within Niantic. And yeah, maybe a lot of those employees who are creating this negative toxic culture are going to ruin it for most of us, but at the very least, we as paying customers are going to motivate Niantic to make the decisions that they are. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Of course, this is going to be a hot topic of discussion, so leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about everything that's going on within Niantic? Definitely share those thoughts and let's have a great discussion. And if you ended up enjoying this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want a permanent spot on my in-game friends list and join me up with remote raids, then do consider becoming a patron on my Patreon by checking out the links in the description below. And yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.